I created Species Nutrition with one mission in mind: to provide bodybuilders and serious athletes with no-nonsense supplements that work. I put my name and reputation on every bottle of Species Nutrition products. If you want to be your absolute best, join the evolution.
How you doing, everybody? This is Jimmy the Bull at MuscleMonster.com. I'm here today to share with you my personal power straps, how to help you become the best power bodybuilder I can possibly be, training through injuries, gaining strength, and now I'm going to share with you how you can get the extra mile in the gym, pushing and pulling and getting through the exercise. These are the best power straps you'll ever use. Go to MuscleMonster.com to get the full demonstration.
I haven't seen the sun in a fucking week and a half. Hey, look! It just came out! Hey, look at that! I love it!
And we are back for another exciting episode of After Hours. I'm still here at the hospital, unfortunately. My diagnosis just came in, guys. You'll be happy to know I have, I guess it would be called, I don't know, walking pneumonia.
Oh, shit.
Obviously, I don't sound like I have it, but obviously in my left lung.
Yeah, but you're sitting down.
Greg, that's way less of an oh shit than the other possibilities.
Oh,
that's right.
Yes.
Well, I thought I was dying of a heart attack or a pulmonary embolism, and they ran every freaking test in the book, which is good because at least I knew nothing else was the case. But I had some kind of rhinovirus too, which is like a cold virus. So I thought that's what was causing the problem. They thought that because they did blood cultures on me, it all was negative, and then they finally got a chest X-ray again today, and I have more white stuff in the lower portion of my left lung, which is where I'm feeling that. If you feel a gripping pain on your ribs, evidently that could be a pulmonary embolism, but could also be the fact that your lung can't expand properly.
But what is causing the fluid attraction to your lung? Why is that happening?
Well, because I have a Pseudomonas infection in there.
So it's white blood cells and plasma going there to fight off the infection.
I have an infection, yeah, and they just couldn't tell because my body isolated it to that one little section so well, which is good because you don't want to have a bacterial infection in my new, aorta that they just
what would cause the infection? What would bring that on?
It was your kids, didn't you?
My stupid my kids were coughing all over me. Who knows? Maybe I'm more susceptible now, because I don't have
your immune system's not built back
because you're recovering.
Yeah.
I'm still recovering from heart. I still have fluid around my lungs, probably just from the heart surgery itself. And so I'm more susceptible. I'm like an old fucker, and bad things, you get sick longer. And, luckily I went to the hospital. Now, but it took them a lot. They were acting like I was like a hypochondriac because they ran so many tests that they figured that this guy's making up that he feels like this. And meanwhile, every night when the sun starts coming down, I'm spiking fevers. And I'm like, I feel like, and I can't sleep all night. But the funny thing is, despite getting 3 hours of sleep last night, I'm walking the halls during the day. I feel not so bad, and I'm walking for 30 minutes straight around the whole lobby, doing laps, and I'm not breathing hard. I'm not wheezing. So who would think you have pneumonia? I don't know. I don't have any symptoms of pneumonia. My oxygen sats are really good, and so as far as I know, I'm fine. But
try doing 10
I just
burpees.
keep feeling crappy all day long.
Just try doing 10 burpees.
What? Yeah, I couldn't do that.
We could do the push-up part. But Dave, are they talking?
No,
about,
and when I laugh,
are they talking about draining lung, or it's too soon?
No, it's not that bad. It's very small. It's a small area. What
They're going to dry it up.
they're going to do now is they're finally going to put me on antibiotics because now they know what the.
What do you mean finally? They don't have you on antibiotics?
We said
they don't put you on because I didn't have any signs.
Oh,
Greg, Dave
no
and I were
signs of
talking on the
infection.
phone a little while ago. We said the exact same thing, right, Dave? It's like prophylactically, why wouldn't you just put them on it? For what the fuck? Throw some pasta on the wall.
Right. You don't want to take it unless you have to. And they want to do Levaquin, right?
They always, you know what, Armin, you're so right. They are on this new kick now of trying to like hone in absolute pinpoint specificity on what exactly is wrong with you and send the right molecule, to that area. It can't be that exact, especially when the consequence of it going, left unchecked for a period of time magnifies the severity of the situation exponentially. So just to play it safe, a few days on antibiotics is a small price to pay for a catastrophic event it could be avoiding. So to not do it is just silly.
Right.
Yeah, man.
Dave, do you know what they're going to put you on?
What?
Do you know what antibiotics they're going to put you
Levin,
on?
There's John Livia.
What's up, guys?
Hey,
Yeah, they came in here before we started the show. They were like about to hand me a Levaquin pill, and Levaquin is one of those fluoroquinolones that it's a strong antibiotic, but it can cause tendon tears. And I almost tore a calf tendon when they put me on it years ago, and I never would take it again after that.
Was that when you were ripping all your quads and everything that you were on this medication?
No, this was before that. This was when I was really big still. I was walking up the steps at the what was that theater that the Manhattan School of Performing Arts, they used to have all the shows in Manhattan there. I was walking up the stairs and I felt my calf just give out. Luckily it didn't tear completely. I got a partial tear, and it was from the Levaquin. I was on Levaquin. I didn't do anything. I just was literally lifting my own weight. Imagine if I was in the gym.
Levaquin. It was like horrible. Didn't do shit for me. They put me on Rosafin, and then it fucking it worked.
Rosafin, yeah, that's another injectable cephalosporin.
So you told them that. Are they going to give you something else now, or are they going to?
Well, there's two things that kill Pseudomonas bacteria, which is a gram-negative bacteria. It's not a common bacteria, and it could be a nasty infection if it's not controlled. Obviously, mine looks like it's a small little pocket, but they either use Levaquin pills or they can use a cephalosporin inject IV.
Yeah.
So they change it where they're gonna put me on IV cephalosporin, I guess, for the next 24 hours while I'm here, and then they'll, of course, switch me to Levaquin, and I don't have a choice because there's no oral medication antibiotic that will kill Pseudomonas bacteria except Levaquin. So I just don't have a choice. I'm gonna have to take it.
Yeah, I took the shit and I had to have 2 different surgeries. So I tore my tricep while I was shortly after a couple weeks. And then I had a Gilmore's growing tear. I was playing with my daughter. I ran and jumped and it tore from my growing all the way to my pubic area. They had to cut me open down there and just take part of the tendon out because all the tendons were just shredded. And I had such a bad kidney infection. I already knew because Dave told me years prior about Levaquin. And there's no way around. You got to take it. It's that bad. So it's like your life.
Who's that?
Yeah.
George.
It's got to be George.
Armand, you've had so many injuries.
Dave,
I can't believe
doesn't Armin remind you, Dave, of Rasputin? Rasputin. Kill the motherfucker.
Rasputin. That's terrible.
I don't even know who that is, but it doesn't sound like a compliment.
He was like the psychic advisor of the Tsar and the Tsarina in Russia, and they tried assassinating him in the end. They shot him, they beat him, they threw him in the river, they hung him up. They couldn't kill the fucking guy. It was indestructible. And it's like you. I mean, no matter what they throw at you, you come back.
Yeah, I've been sick a lot. Yeah.
Wait, waiting to hear what else. Armand, is it because it dries your joints out, your tendons? It dries them out, right?
I mean, on the insert it says you can have the most common tear is Achilles tendon tear if you read the insert. Yeah. But it says it can cause muscle tears up to 6 months or after you use it. And they told me not to work out at all while I was on it or a month after I took it. But
which is probably why people tear the Achilles, because they're not even working out. They're just doing it walking, like what happened with Dave and his calf.
Yeah, I mean, I would be walking up the stairs and my Achilles would be actually feeling like they were going to tear, each step I took. Yeah, I mean, it was, it blocks,
supposedly it blocks calcium.
Ruptured the tricep.
The tear?
Yeah, wow. Full tear.
Dude, a torn groin.
Armand comes back from these things, and he's still huge.
Yeah, really.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
There's no deficits.
That's the point I was trying to make. It was.
I
You
like
guys are
counting how
fucking
many
falling
years
apart.
I've been
Jesus
out since
Christ.
I've been bodybuilding. I've been out 5.5 years, no weights at all since I've been bodybuilding, like from all the surgeries put together.
Jeez.
A torn groin. Joke though. That's bad. That's painful.
No wonder you were on pain meds. You were freaking operated on all the time. Now it makes sense.
Yeah, that's why I got on them.
They put them together with this Velcro.
Velcro.
Just open them up, close them, open them, close them, open them, close them. You know.
Yeah, I didn't start pain meds for no fucking reason. I'm like, I had all these surgeries, and
Armand, a lot of people, they think, I didn't know, I didn't assume though, but a lot of people think that you just want to pop on the pills, and now it's good that you cleared that up so everybody knows that wasn't the case.
I never did drugs. I mean, I would take maybe some GHB here and there. That's about it. But I've never done X, never done Coke, never done,
What are you
Did
showing?
you guys see that the Liver King is being sued, class action suit?
That's old.
No, it's new.
I think it's new.
What happened to the first class?
It's a class action suit.
But
the first one was a class action suit.
No, but this is for muscle dysphoria in young men. This is a totally different subject.
Like the Adonis complex.
I haven't heard much about him lately.
I wonder if Skip Pope got quoted in that article.
I mean, first off, does anybody really believe the Liver King went off? I mean, come on.
Well, yeah. Well, you know what, Armin? I'm so glad you said that, because, and Greg will agree with me on this. These kids don't know. They don't know what we know. To suppose, well, he's big, so he's on steroids. Some of these, the people who are most influenced by this stuff are the most gullible.
Yes.
They don't even know about steroids. I mean, they don't know anything. It's like seeing a tornado. It's just something they heard in the news. It doesn't mean anything to them like it does to us.
John, did you see John Bravo's video where he talks about how like this guy's sales are still through the roof? Like they're buying his liver, his fucking beef liver, kidney fucking supplements, all this shit. We're to the point where he's making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month.
Yeah. I actually did a rant on when he got caught. My partner on my podcast is Jason Arns, and he uses the same company that gives him his ingredients for his supplement line as the Liver King. And he was saying at the height, the Liver King, he had told me at his height, the Liver King was making $1 million a month on Amazon alone.
I believe it.
He's still making the money. John Bravo did a whole thing, broke it down, each supplement. And he was saying, you got to see how much money this guy's making just off the supplements. The kids think, oh shit, I'm going to go out and eat bull's balls. It shows him cutting the fucking bull, cutting his nuts off and eating it and shit. And I'm like, holy fuck, these people are that stupid. These kids are that gullible that that eating all those organs.
Do you see Mark Coleman like kissing his ass? You know Mark Coleman, UFC champion. Mark Coleman.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Old brawler guy. He was an alcoholic for years. He's coming back and he's praising Liver King, the 9 tenants and throwing punches. I mean, he's losing weight. He's doing the some diet, I think some meat diet, but he's in there like 60s, like throwing punches like that and like running outside with his shirt off and his titties jumping, and it's like
that's because he's
Liver King
not old with him. That's why it's fucking the Liver King's probably giving him money as well as doing. That guy's was Sunday's news on Monday though, bro. He's like washed up. You know what I mean?
Greg, would you eat balls nuts if the Liver King paid you?
Balls nuts?
I'd eat his ass.
He eats those balls, the big testicles.
Yeah. Dude, I would eat if he told me eat my ass for money, I would do it. Are you kidding?
They were doing that shit.
You like the ass. You get the ass. I'm talking about the testicles.
I'd eat his balls for money.
Testicles. Now, would you eat those testicles?
He's an inch away from having to donate $500 to St.
Dave,
would you eat raw balls testicles?
Right? Okay,
if I told my girlfriend, he said to eat his nuts, his balls for money, she'd be, we need to start. Oh, you better get over there and eat those balls. You know what I mean? Yes, I would eat anything.
But he's not promoting that.
They trick him into eating some lamb's testicles. It was like some kind of world record he ate, and he had no idea till the end. And the waitress was like, the trick is you got to cut the testicles up real high. And then he was like eating lamb. He thought it was like meatballs. It was a stupid summer rental comedy. I don't remember.
I saw that with Jude Canny in it.
That's right. He knew what he was eating. They don't give a shit. You know, he's laughing all the way to the bank. And these kids are buying a supplement. They actually believe. Remember back in John, do you remember back in like the early 80s? There was like a thing about orchid gland, and they started this glandular fucking.
Oh, the glandulars, yeah.
Glandulars.
Remember those?
And that's
hot
exactly
stuff?
what.
Hot stuff, guys?
No, well, not hot stuff.
Hot stuff had everything in it too.
Well,
There was
that
sterile
was
gland.
the whole other
Sterile
story.
gland. Do you remember that?
Amin's right. Hot stuff had a lot of those glands in it. Yeah.
But hot stuff. But the whole stigma around hot stuff, and it wasn't even true, was that it was made with methyl testosterone.
It
But
had
that wasn't it. You know, how funny is that? It's like it's like the secret ingredient that's not even in there.
Right.
You don't think it was really in there?
No, the whole thing was proven a long time ago. It was never in there.
People were accusing me of being on testosterone. I never took a steroid, and I looked bloated from it. I don't know. I was taking like 3 servings a day.
The first batch had it. And
Yes, Greg is right. Greg is right.
Then it had it then.
Yes, the first batch, but after that, it didn't.
Right.
He knew that the government.
And they changed the label.
That's why.
Right.
He knew that the claims would get like that people would start like, oh shit, this shit's got testosterone, and that shit would get around. So the next batches they'd say, well, all right, we're gonna test this shit, but they tested the next.
There was a lot of batches that had testosterone. Someone must have caught them, and they
Greg, no,
whatever, changed the formula.
Well, we were from that era. It was the first batch.
John, how did you?
That's nothing new, right?
No,
that's nothing new. There's plenty of supplement companies that put testosterone in their products.
Nowadays, it's going to be hard to
get it. They started this whole glandular run. It was the whole thing: sterile gland, orchid gland, all this shit where they believed that, like bull's balls, all this stuff. Right. And I remember talking to Ming.
Yeah, but that doesn't work, Greg. But that stuff doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. But they try to push it. Sometimes they would spike that shit with testosterone. I remember talking to Ming Chu. You remember Ming Chu, the bodybuilder? Remember Ming Chu? Yeah. John, you remember Ming Chu, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Right. He was a good. I remember talking to him about it. He was telling me, bro, don't go near that shit. It's all spiked. It's got fucking testosterone. It's got this and that. And none of that shit works anyway, because your body's just going to see it as a protein, break it down. You know what I mean? Because they believe that whole thing, like liver, like when you took desiccated liver, like cells help like cells. You know what I mean? It was that whole mindset, desiccated liver, all the different desiccated testicles. It was big. That's what he's doing. He's almost like he's revived. I remember talking to Patrick Arnold once, and we were talking about like, what the fuck, what are they doing with all this, the clear and all this shit? And he was telling me, what we did was we took balastrone, a drug that nobody tested for anyone. It was like a forgotten drug, and they revived it. You understand what I'm saying? That's what some of the baseball players were taking when, what's his name was making that shit, Victor. They would, Conti, they were taking like balastrone. They didn't even know it, but they would.
Balastrone was a nasty drug.
You remember that drug?
Yeah, you had to use an 18 gauge needle because it was. John, you had to hit it every other day or every day. It was you'd see guys walking around with glutes that were like black and blue for
It's like the old school rockers, like Ozzy Osbourne taking like Quaaludes. It's a drug that was big years ago.
Let me make something clear, guys. There's two balastrones. There's the real balastrone that was pharmaceutical, that was made in the Eastern countries, and then there's the balastrone that Dan Duchaine made, which was injectable. The actual original balastrone was an oral. It's an oral version of methylated testosterone. The balastrone that you took, John, was made by Dan Duchaine. He made balastrone, quinolone, hexalone, and then another one. There were 4 of them that he made, and that's what you was. He basically designed the steroid by combining a few different other drugs together, and that's what you got. But that's not the actual pharmaceutical balastrone that was made. The pharmaceutical balastrone that was made was an oral, similar to a methyl test. That's the one that
Victor Conti resurrected. Yeah. They resurrected the real balastrone. The real balastrone.
But that was way later. That was in the 90s. We're talking about.
But I'm saying that's just for baseball.
The balastrone itself was from the 60s, and it just disappeared.
But it stopped in like the very early 80s, like
Quaaludes. Only lasted for a few months. Yeah.
Like Quaaludes.
Let me introduce our guest that we've been ignoring for like the last 20 minutes. John Livia has a YouTube channel called Seriousness and Silliness, and I've been on it. I think John Romano's been interviewed. Greg, were you on that show yet or no?
No.
Only. Only had you, Dave.
Good interview. Now you had gone over to Muscular Development for a while, and they asked you to bring the show over there, right?
Well, what happened? What happened was and then during the 2023 New Year,
another Blackman travesty.
Yeah. So, basically,
I'm looking
happened
forward
was,
to hearing this, John, for all day.
It's unbelievable. But what had happened?
Give us the Reader's Digest version. Don't give us the long version.
You got it. I started a bodybuilding channel in January of 2023. Before that was a variety channel, but I started, a bodybuilding only called Serious and Silliness Bodybuilding, right? So what had happened was Nick Walker had parted ways with Hostel. So I've always had a podcast where I had a panel show. So I had Jason Arns, Carlos Thomas Jr., Nate Spear, Bo Lewis is with me. And when I found that out, I asked Carlos, Arns, Spear to go see if we can get Nick. So Nick comes on. It turned out to be a great show, right? So a few days later, I get a message from Muscular Development. I really don't want to name names.
From who?
But
who contacted you?
No. You do not come on the show and don't mention that.
You gotta name names.
That's like sin number 43. We don't do that. If it's a person that you're going to talk about, they got a name. So either name or don't talk about it.
So the person I actually never had a problem with, Ron Harris, asked me to do that panel show on Muscular Development.
There's only one employee over there, John. Anyway.
Yeah, I mean it's
Ron Harris.
It's like the guy who places in the top two. It's like, who took second place? It's like,
so I was ecstatic. So of course I do it, right? I would jump at the opportunity because my channel, the bodybuilding channel, is not monetized. I was like, it'll be great. Of course, they told me I wasn't getting paid for it, but I didn't care, right? So I go on and I do the first show. The first show, if you guys remember back then, it was the Redcon 1 thing was out. So we were trying to talk about the Redcon 1. He had gone to jail and so on and so forth. So I get a message telling me never to talk about Redcon 1 on Muscular Development. I said, okay.
Did they give you a reason?
They're a sponsor.
Oh, okay.
You can't talk about them. They're giving us money.
Yeah.
Like Pfizer.
So I was like, all right, cool, no problem. So I tell the guys we can't talk about Redcon 1. So the next couple of videos come out, and they don't want me to talk about any other bodybuilding YouTube channel at all. And matter of fact, I had a joke. If I had to make a reference to it, I would say podcast that shall remain nameless. And the mortal sin of MD was if you mentioned Dave Palumbo and RX Muscle. That was the mortal sin. I got several warnings because there's 5 guys on the show and we would be referenced.
Let me translate that for everybody. Dave, you win.
Oh, you would have got more views. They would have got more views if it's
they would have.
What's it's so funny. You look at their what subscribers whatever it is, and you look at how many people watch the videos.
Yeah, believe me, I brought that up to the guys at the panel off air. I was like, that doesn't really make sense, But then things got. I was like, all right, no RX Muscle, no Dave Palumbo, no Nick Trigilli, no Hostel, no Redcon 1. Okay, no problem. All right. So then what happens is Carlos is going to do the New York.
Talk about glutes.
Yeah,
Victor's glutes. Victor's glutes.
Victor's glutes.
But so then Carlos Thomas Jr. was going to do the New York Pro, and Nate Spear was going to do the New York Pro. So I said, well, I'm going. If these guys are going, they're on my panel show, I'm going. So obviously Carlos pulls out because he gets sick, but Nate's still doing it. So I get a phone call saying, would I like to cover MD with Ron Harris, cover the New York Pro at MD. So of course I was ecstatic. I'm not like Dave, where everybody knows me in bodybuilding. Nobody knows me. I'm just a guy with a podcast. So I'm ecstatic. So of course, no money, nothing like that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like talking to Ron, like, Ron, what do I wear? Do I wear a suit? You always wear a suit. And I was like, let me I'll get a Muscular Development t-shirt because I'm really not a suit guy. I'm a blue collar guy. I'm at work right now, right? So some time goes by and I was like, well, I got to get a press pass. So I contact the person that gets the press pass, and they said,
who does the press passes?
Who does that?
Ron Harris.
Ron Harris.
It's not Ron. It's not Ron. It's Jen.
Oh, Jenny, the daughter.
The daughter.
Oh.
I didn't even know it was the daughter.
That's the door.
So she says, well, you gotta go get the press pass on your own. So I said, I don't know how to do that. I never got a press pass. So she goes, here, email this one, email that one. So I email them and I say, okay, they told me no press pass. So she goes, well, you got to buy a ticket. I said, all right, how do I get reimbursed?
Let me ask you, let me stop you for a minute. I got to ask you. They asked this guy to cover the show with Ron, meaning that they're going to do obviously wrap ups and play-by-play, whatever they're going to do over there. And they don't even get the guy a press pass. Like, why not send in a press pass request for the guy you actually have doing the reporting with Ron Harris?
Wait a minute. If they were sending Ron, were they paying for Ron's?
Yeah, maybe not.
I don't know the detail. I know it was going to be Ron, Jose Raymond.
I'm going to have a press pass around his neck when you got there?
Yeah. Who had a press pass? An actual press pass?
So
I definitely had a press pass. There's no.
What does he get? Only like 2, and then he sends 2 people in, and then one comes out with the other press pass.
He's got one for himself.
Well, like my brother used to do.
The old trick.
So then I said, all right, I'll
Blackman's got to take the other press pass.
Right. Yeah, he's got to have a press pass.
So I said, okay, no press pass. She said, well, you're gonna have to buy a ticket. So I said, all right, how do I get reimbursed? And that was the line. That was, whoa, no, you're not getting reimbursed. There's no reimbursement. Right?
God forbid to give him the $50 for the ticket, John, right?
Yeah. So
they're asking him to go.
So she
right,
said to me,
asked him to go, right.
So she said to me, you were gonna go anyway. We thought you could just do it because you were gonna go anyway. So I didn't say this to her, but I thought about, because I didn't really want to argue, especially via text message. But now you're asking me to work. It's different when I go to hang out, and now you're asking me to work, right? So it's a little bit different. So they go, no, reimbursement. So I call up Ron, and we have a conversation. He's like, yeah, well, I'll try to do what I can, and blah blah blah, and so on and so forth. This and that. So this is the best part. I asked for a muscular development T-shirt that I could wear there to represent muscular development, and I had to pay for the $25 for the T-shirt. They wouldn't even send me one. Right? Wow. And then I get there. I buy VIP tickets for all the prejudging, the 2 prejudgings and the finals. Cost about $300 for the tickets.
Wow.
Because I got to be up close. I'm going to do it, right? So on and so forth. And then while I was there, I was told I was not needed to do the coverage on MD.
Who told you that?
The rug on you.
Whoa. Who told you that?
Who told me? Ron told me. He was like, I said, do you want me out there? And he's like, no hard feelings.
Ron
no,
Harris told him. Of course he told him.
Wait, so you got to
I
clarify.
don't understand the whole point of the trip. Then.
Wait a second. Chronology. Who asked you to be there and do the work?
Jen.
Okay, so you get there on your own dime. They're not agreeing to reimburse you or anything. She's assuming you're going to be there anyway, so that's why they're telling you to do this. You get there, you go up to Ron Harris, and you say, "Okay, I'm here. What do you want me to do?" And he says, "No, we don't need you."
Yeah. Okay. Basically, but it was right after the prejudging. I said, "Do you want me out there with you, Ron?" And he goes, "It's up to you." So I go outside, and I feel like it's like a little tense. I'm talking to Jose. It's a little tense. So I said to Ron again, "Ron, do you want me here or not?" And he goes, "No, we don't need you. No hard feelings." So I just walked away, and I said, "Okay, no problem." And then that's when I text messaged them, and I said, "Yeah, I'm not coming back to MD anymore."
Send them an invoice, and if they don't pay in 30 days, send them another one. If they don't pay, send it.
I don't know why Ron Harris wouldn't just bring you in. The guys are jerks. They're idiots.
Why didn't they, John?
Well, I don't really blame.
John Romano, I need your interpretation of what happened. John, what happened?
Well, first of all, one hand's not paying attention to what the other one's doing for a change.
Yeah.
So, Blackman would probably have wanted the coverage, because he's like, content, get it up. And if Jenny set it up, it was obviously that was the original intent. To say that you don't need it, you don't need him while he's there, and that's coming from Ron, and he's tense with Jose too, and that's like, I mean, these guys know each other. There shouldn't be any tension between them. They're working on the same team. So, and then to say no hard feelings. I mean, that's obviously they knew that the thing was set up. It was contrived by them, and now all of a sudden they didn't pay attention to the fact that probably Ron and Jose could have just handled it without any added extra cost or anything. So they just
Nope.
threw the bus when he got there.
You're close.
Anyway.
You're close. You're close. What happened was, Blackman didn't know that he'd have other celebrities there that he can grab.
Right. He didn't know.
So he was using John John Livia,
Right.
as a backup, essentially. But he was treating him like the redheaded stepchild. Like, we'll use him if we have no other option, type of thing.
It's insurance policy, just in case there was nobody else there.
Right, but you know what? You always pay. You pay your insurance policy because this way, if you don't use him, he doesn't care because at least he had the show paid for and he had, his ticket paid for, his T-shirt, whatever, and he's part of the team. All right, you know what? You couldn't use me, but at least you guys showed me the respect of getting me when I into the show.
Dave, it's the hubris. It's the hubris of Blackman to still think that his brand has any power or attraction whatsoever. It's like you pretty much have toilet paper, hemp, and then MD. I mean, there's pretty much the bottom of the most bottom as you can probably get right now as far as the media.
Who watches contest coverage?
Okay, so
these news on Monday.
And
Larry, can you? Maybe
Well,
Larry can go collect money from.
You got to look at this the whole transgression, because this started out years ago with Blackman owing everybody in the country money. Remember, he wasn't paying everybody. He owed like over $1 million to all different photographers, videographers, athletes, everything. He amassed this tremendous debt of not paying people, excuses. People were going crazy. I mean, we've had several people. I think we haven't had on the show. I mean, remember, Herb Gelb was one of them. It was Blackman wouldn't pay him.
Was he broke?
Yeah.
John, was he broke though?
So and always say now the checks are on his desk, and so it's gone from that. Now they have gone nowhere but down since then. There's been no climb of MDs, no ascension whatsoever out of the downward spiral that they've been in since Dave and I left. Dave and I left. MD was a 550-page paper magazine with a huge burgeoning forum section, tons of members, and we were exploding. And whatever that would have done, we would have done with this with MD, with RX, and it would have been a freaking giant media company that Blackman would have been in the helm of. But he fucked all that up, and this is what he has left, and that is attacking his Napoleon complex with unbearable force. That he's like forced in continuing this charade that his brand has any relevance, any value, any mystique whatsoever, like it used to have when it was MD, when it was big MD. So he's riding on those coattails, and he thinks that he can lure people in, like John, who's got, is trying to get his show going and wants some traction, and he's going to I'm going to make you a star. He's still got that mentality, right? That his pull and his brand and his notoriety is going to do something for you, and it doesn't. It only makes you look foolish.
Why didn't you take content for your? Just make if I was there, I would have been like, fuck it, then I'll make content for my own shit. You know?
Yeah,
you should have. Yeah, you should have done for your own channel.
Exactly.
I actually tried that, and they stopped me from videoing because I wasn't.
No. Are you serious?
Yeah, I actually tried to.
Serious?
The show sent security over to stop me from taking over my phone.
You know what? That proves it right there. He will betray anybody. That is absolute betrayal, and that's what he does. He will stab his back. He stabbed us in the back. I mean, like, it's
he's talking about the show, though. He's talking about the show, people.
Yes,
but who do you think ratted him out? Greg? That's
no. They have.
All right,
they have spies that they
John, do your own
shit in the bathroom. They know.
Livia, do your own show on your own channel. Don't worry about it. You'll wind up more successful doing that.
Your own
I want to bring up another story.
Guys, I appreciate it.
Did you see this lunatic?
Dave, unfortunately, I have to get back to work, but I
Good luck to you, John.
I appreciate everything. Yeah, it's serious and silliness bodybuilding, and I put up a lot of good content. I put up content almost every day. So, Dave, thank you very much, and I appreciate all the support and everything, guys. Really.
Nice meeting you, John.
All right, take care, guys.
All right.
That's that's just continuation of.
John, you almost said transgender. Greg and I
Hey,
were.
I meant transgression.
I know. But come on, we gotta say it.
And as I'm going through, so I'm watching
Hey,
Dave's face
sorry.
twist up over here as
Thank
I'm
you.
going off on him, and it's like, Dave, come on, man, you got to remember where we were at that point when this whole downward spiral started, and really, it's like I don't know, it's like a sick animal. It's like, die already, you know what I mean? It's like, how could that? What does that serve our community? What are we as a bodybuilding community getting at?
Yeah.
What?
Listen, who gives a shit?
Let's put the Blackman story to rest. I want to
No
move
more
on to
that
the
Vinny
show.
the Chin motherfucker. I didn't like what he did with George. Fuck that fucking guy. That fake Italian.
I want to move on with the show. I don't know if you guys can hear me or not.
Yeah, we can hear you. We hear you, bro.
We're just not acting like we do.
Let's move on. All right, my next story, guys.
Uh-oh. What is this? What
Can
is
you hear
that?
me?
No.
Yeah.
Florida man extremely high on something.
Next story. This lunatic. Watch this lunatic. He's naked in his gym.
He's naked?
He's running around the gym starting fights with people naked.
What?
Oh.
He's punching people. Look at his.
Just choke him out. What do the guys do? I would have just choked him right out.
His wiener was hanging out there.
Yeah. Baby wiener.
Look, he's fighting everyone.
He's on Flocka, dude.
Have you guys heard of this wasp spray? People are mixing it with crystal meth.
I think it's Flocka.
No, they're doing it's the new thing is they're putting wasp spray mixed in with meth. And so this kid took it, he slit his own throat, jumped out the second story. What was that?
Try that again.
Guys, it's crazy.
It has to be George.
Yeah, so they were I guess they're mixing it with meth.
There's a chemical in wasp spray that when you put heat to it, it gives you some kind of psychosis.
What? WASP? There's in the bug?
Wasp, yeah, like wasp spray. Yeah, so they're mixing it in with meth, like cutting it with meth.
Who thinks of this shit?
I know. That's how you say it. How the hell do you think of that?
How do you? Well, I want to know. Wait, I want to know what chemical it is they're doing to get high enough to think of smoking wasp spray.
No, I want to know who the first guy was that said, you know what? I'm going to try.
Lucky this kid lived. He slit his own throat, jumped out the second story balcony, landed on something, was fighting his parents, just punching people. I mean, it was. Look, I don't know if you can probably look the story up. And
Armand, was it Florida?
What are they mixing it with, Armin?
Was it Florida?
What are they mixing?
I don't remember exactly where it was. You could probably just look up wasp spray and kid, attack.
Well, are they sniffing it? Was he sniffing it like what they?
No, they're mixing it with the crystal meth. Like
shit!
Spray. Yeah, they're cutting it with it.
What?
Yeah, no, I'm serious. Yeah.
What is it?
Why? Because there's not enough fentanyl. I mean, what? Why?
You know what? You know what they're doing now?
Where does that come from? Who thinks?
John,
I don't know.
Huffing. It came from huffing. The people that huff, they spray paint and they spray it in a bag and they breathe the chemicals. Insect spray was one of the more popular ones that was being used. And gold paint and insect spray.
No shit.
That's fucked. That's sad.
Who'd be the first person to try that? You got to be pretty.
Wait,
I'm going to try it right now.
They don't know. They don't know.
How about?
I'm going to try it
All right, Greg.
right now. No, I would never
Do a
do
whiff
that
of that.
shit.
Greg's going to take his clothes off on the show.
I'm going to do this shit right now.
Get naked.
So the crackheads in my area, when they don't have money for crack, they steal the cell phones and they take the lithium battery out of the cell phone, put it in a glass bottle, and they heat it, and it creates a vapor, and they inhale it, and it fries their brain.
Now, who thought of that? Who was the guy that said, you know what? I want to take a cell phone, put the battery in a fucking thing, and then who thinks of this shit?
Lithium is used in a cold shake process that you make methamphetamine. So
really,
yeah, in the process of that, somebody probably breathed the lithium fumes that were dissolving in the chemicals that make methamphetamine. You add the Sudafed and a bunch of other things to it. I've seen it on TV, but that's where that came from.
holy fuck, man!
But they're literally,
man.
it fries their brain. It's like they had a lobotomy.
Yeah,
these people are like walking dead, walking in the street.
Yeah, it disconnects the part of the brain that connects to the body, unfortunately.
And the reason for doing this is what?
Well, they're just so miserable. They just want to disconnect from life. You know,
it's depression, and depression is one of those things that once you start feeling it, it can lead to a downward spiral. These people are probably homeless. They probably don't have jobs. They probably don't have health care. They probably suffer from mental illness, and there's really nobody to help them. And it's a shame because they're going to die like that. They're going to die.
That's what I'm saying. Why don't you just jump off a bridge?
It goes crazy.
For your headache. It's really that we went from an era where the people who were mentally ill, homeless, mentally ill people were institutionalized and taken care of.
Yeah,
we went from being a society that did that to ending those facilities and just unleashing these people out onto the streets. And we wonder why we have mass shootings, people running around naked, choking people. We have no unified institutionalized care for mentally ill people, and we just leave them out in public. And this is the kind of shit that happens.
And antidepressants.
And
cause psychotic.
Well, exactly.
None of them work.
Right.
Psychotic, all the mass shootings, all that stuff. Well, the common thing is antidepressants.
Exactly. So when you go to seek help, they give you drugs that make you worse, really.
Yeah.
So that was a scam from the Rockefeller administration, because the Rockefeller laws are the ones that ended
in New York.
The mental hospitals in New York, threw them all out on the street so that they could get peppered with pharmaceutical drugs that were being handed out that the government was paying for, and probably Rockefeller is getting a piece of it. So that's what they did.
John, the incarceration statutes were much higher for possession of drugs then. So they would get them out of the hospitals. They knew they were possessing drugs, and they put them in jail. It was a money machine.
But that's exactly why they don't do crime. Yeah. Right now, they're not allowed to lock people up in New York City. You could spit in a cop's face and he has to wipe it off and say, fucking, get out of here, whatever. But they're right now. So that's why the crime numbers are down. They keep saying in these big fucking Democratic states, they keep saying, well, how come the crime numbers are New York crime numbers are down? Meanwhile, it's worse than ever. I know, I'm here, and it's bad. And I'm telling you, the reason why the crime numbers are down is because they're not locking these people up. That guy Jordan Neely was on the top 50 list of people who had mental illness. I mean, that's the guy that got choked out on a train.
He punched a 67-year-old woman in the face. There was a warrant for his arrest.
Broke her eye socket in a joint.
Yeah.
Down and how many people?
I just traveled, Greg. I had to go get my client in New York, and I just traveled through the New Jersey Transit and the Long Island Railroad. They're all over. I've never seen it like in my life. I got in the air train, and luckily I got in with the girl. There was one girl in there in the air train going from Newark Airport, and the air train is just like one big bubble. There's nobody on. You can be on there by yourself. And some homeless guy comes in. And right away he starts in, and then I looked right at him and he shut up. And I'm like,
let me tell you something.
How do you let these people around? Then I got out to Newark. I was going to take the train to the Jersey Shore, and there's another guy with his pants hanging down, walking around, and there's a lady with her suitcases and stuff standing right by the end of the tracks. And I go over and I get her. I go, come here. You got to come over here. Come to me. Stand by me. I go, there's a guy behind you. He's getting ready to push on the fucking tracks. Crazy.
Dude, back in the day, you go on the subways at night, and that was the madness. Today, 12 o'clock in the afternoon.
During the middle of the day.
When that guy Jordan Neely got choked out, it was like 2 in the afternoon. And I'm telling you, it's savage. Yep. The thing is, the rule is, what Amin was just saying, they're not allowed to make the arrests. Do you understand? So the numbers... It actually helps the crime numbers, because then you see people like Nadler and all these other congressmen sitting there going, well, crime's down in New York City. No, it isn't. It's worse than ever. It's just that you can't make arrests. Look, dude. Now here in New York City, you can't even go in a store and buy something off the shelves. It's all underneath glass.
It's all locked up, yeah.
Locked up.
Because they can steal a certain amount and there's no penalty.
$999.
There's no penalty. So people
$999. I pay. I should go in here and just fucking steal my wasp spray. Instead, I bought that. You know what I mean?
Did y'all watch the episode? Did y'all watch Patrick Bet-David ever, Valuetainment?
Yeah,
yeah.
Tyson was on a couple days ago. Tyson, did you watch that one?
Awesome.
No.
I was supposed to go on that show before I got the throat cancer in February.
Wait. So finish. Tyson, what happened?
Yeah.
So Tyson was on there, Mike Franchise, and then they were just talking about how, just all of this, what we're talking about, and, Lennon, just everybody over here, and eventually it's just gonna, they were talking about Biden eventually, just as soon as, over, they're just gonna all turn on him. Yeah, the whole time we knew he was A, B, and C, and then it was a 2-hour long episode, so it was a lot to take in, but
he did some great interviews there.
So they were talking about the border with the 8 million people that are coming over here that they're not going to assimilate. They're not going to assimilate to the country, and as a result, they're putting them in all these hotels and stuff, and they're not part of the culture. They're going back to stabbing, raping, all sorts of crazy shit, and now you got these people that went from living like a half of a jungle and squalor places coming here and don't know how to be civilized. And as a result, what you're going to have to happen is we ain't going to let it happen.
Let me give you an example of one of the nasty things that is habitual in third world, Central and South American countries, is that they don't put use toilet paper and they don't put it in the toilet. They put it in a trash can next to the toilet. And if there's no trash can next to the toilet, they just throw it on the floor in the corner. So magnify that by how many hundreds of thousands are coming across the border. That's like, it's unfortunate to think that there's a level of humanity that lives at that level.
7 million, John.
7 million people.
They're busing, John. They're putting them on buses. Now they're sending them to Suffolk County.
Buses in Georgia, they're putting them on airplanes. They're flying them all over the country.
Can I give you my theory on this?
Kicking veterans out of hotels.
It's an invasion, literally.
People in there.
It's not just Hispanics. It's
no.
Arab,
It's everybody. They just come in through Mexico. That doesn't mean they're all
123 countries.
Yeah,
123.
Hold on.
Because they're getting rid of all their passports and all their currency. They were shown by the border where all the currency was thrown there. I might have said this last time.
Let Larry say something because I want to hear, and I want to tell you my theory on this politically.
My barber is from Syria originally, and he introduced me to his cousin yesterday, who is now coming to work as a barber. His cousin came from Syria. He originally went to Dubai, then he went to Turkey, then he went to Mexico, and then he came across the Rio Grande with the coyotes, and he almost died a few times in the process, and that's how he got into the country.
He paid the coyotes. Larry paid him. He had to pay the coyotes.
Yeah,
right?
he paid the coyotes.
Yeah, they're all getting rich. They're making more money than the drugs.
So this is my theory on the reason this administration is pretty much contributing to all this. When the next election comes up, there's going to be voting and there's going to be mail-in voting, and they're not saying that these people can't vote because there's no check and balance when it comes to this. So all of a sudden, when
there'll be a loophole so they can vote,
they need the bodies. They need the bodies to go with the ballot.
Right. All that needs to happen to prevent this. But their goal is to be like, okay, with the amount of votes that Biden had in the last election, which was astronomical, right? They're going to build on that and say there's 7 million more people, so there's another 5 million more potential votes. And the whole thing has just gotten down to who's the best cheater at this point. The system's pretty much.
So, I mean, what about now with the advent of artificial intelligence in the mix? That's gonna how in the world? But are they going to avoid? How in the world are they going to enact and carry out a fair election when it's influenced with AI?
Paper.
It's all bullshit because I'm going to tell you why.
Paper
Let me tell you,
ballot.
anybody that knows, my girlfriend's Mexican. They all came across the border. Her mother's been deported a few times back. She's right now in Mexico again. But let me just tell you, they don't vote, which you don't understand with the
No, Greg.
don't
Greg, that's
understand.
not the point. Greg, that's not the point.
They're not going to vote.
No, they don't need to. It's going to be fake.
vote. They
There's
don't
bodies.
need to vote. They just need they just need bodies to
People,
go
yeah,
to the ballot.
They need names with social security numbers.
Because
They
what
don't have
happened?
names.
What
It's
happened
all
in the
bullshit.
last election was they had more ballots come back than went out.
Thank you.
So
That's-
you got to
that's
have
right.
a body to go with
That's
the ballot.
valid
Right.
harvesting.
It doesn't
Why?
matter when they
It doesn't
research.
matter, right.
Oh, there's 15 people in this apartment building. There's 15 ballots. Okay, that makes sense.
Right.
Not if there's 15 people in this apartment building and there's 480 ballots coming from.
Bingo.
You can't do
And
that.
That's why you need poll watchers.
Trump,
We want to be a poll watcher, poll worker
That's
around the
very
whole
good.
country.
Poll
Every
watcher.
veteran.
That's right.
Every veteran. I was there. I can tell you, boots in the ground.
Yes.
I was here in Palm Beach.
That's
all right?
the only way.
And at the end of the whole thing, this guy, this Spanish guy brought in a whole bunch of ballots, and I'm like, what are those? Oh, those are the mail. What do you mean the mail-in ballots?
And George,
No, what are you talking about? Where are they counted for? You follow what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
It's
and
allowed,
the chain
though.
of custody
And they would-
can't be broken.
It's
The
allowed.
chain of custody cannot be
They were
broken.
telling me that I got to leave. I go,
Yeah, no,
I ain't leaving.
no. That's how they do it, George.
Yeah,
And
well,
they're
I
gonna do it again. And Trump cannot win unless he cheats. I mean, and then when he cheats, they're going to say he cheated to win. So either way, it's all rigged. In my opinion, and this is from knowing the people that I know, you all know who I know, okay? I think the last fair election was probably Kennedy.
And they said even that wasn't fair.
Yeah,
It was not.
that
It
was
not.
totally influenced by his father. Come on.
I mean,
That was-
Yeah, man.
I could just say,
I would probably go
Talk
back
about
to.
corrupt.
I
you know,
could just say a
Teddy
bird
Roosevelt.
on a
it's going
wall.
to go all the way back. You have to go. No mail-in ballots. No
So
mail-in
here's the thing.
ballots.
Here's
You
the
go
thing.
there and you vote.
Trump,
You go
Trump,
there and you vote.
Trump
That's the
has
way,
to cheat.
right there, George.
Trump has no
Right.
choice but
Yes,
to cheat.
there you go.
He's consumed by the group's dynamic. He's got to cheat because Biden's going to cheat. So everybody's cheating. Not only is everybody cheating, but they're going to feed us AI.
But the Republicans don't fight
that
back,
everything's
John.
great.
They
Because
don't. They
it'll
won't
tell
do
them
it.
whatever. It'll tell us whatever they want it to.
Well, John, can't we change we could change the laws now.
You
If
can't
every
do it.
every
They won't
state,
do it.
George,
What?
who's we? Who's we?
it starts by you and me.
When?
Voices.
When? Where?
Right now.
You got
I just said become involved. Become involved. Get involved. Everyone get involved. Just like that, just like at the schools with the schools with the elections and stuff, these people having all these books and stuff trying to sexualize the kids. You don't even realize what they're teaching kids pornographic crap.
It's horrible.
You go to the schools, you get involved, you use your voice.
He's right.
Use your
George,
voice
George,
before
the
you
only
ever
thing-
have to use
Hey,
it.
but the
Your
Republicans,
brains.
The only
All right, here's
fight
my
back.
option, guys. Hold on. I got to
Don't
ask you
fight
about
back.
I'm changing the subject. I'm coming
Okay.
off politics for a second. So I got my first IV of the cephalosporin, and I told you I could either take IV, cephalosporin, which is a very mild, it doesn't have side effects to this antibiotic,
Right.
or I got to take oral Levaquin. I would have to do something like 16 doses of this, so I'd have to stay in the hospital for 2 days to do this, or go home with the Levaquin tomorrow. What would you do?
You can
Oh,
get
shit,
the
stay
IV at
there.
home, Dave.
I get
You can?
Yeah, my brother was just in the hospital and he had to go home on IV antibiotics. And
Right.
they taught his wife how to administer the IV antibiotics through the IV.
Yeah, it's just a push.
Really?
Yeah, they can leave it. They can leave it in you, and she just hooks it up and pushes it in you.
Yeah, keep the stent in.
Yeah.
But will they do that for him?
Well, they will if he asks them.
Just don't let Logan use the IV stand.
I hope they brought your stuff. They bring your stuff.
You use it as a sword.
Maybe
He's got that clamp on the bottom with 4 wheels.
Oh,
If
yeah,
I put
you-
one foot on there and grab it like
Yeah,
this,
definitely.
kicking with his foot, flying around the room. That thing right there that the bottle's hitting.
It'll help him heal better by being home anyway.
Yeah.
What is it? What is this, Dave's third life? You still got 6 more left?
Yeah, he's got 16 more.
Destructible.
Dave, this is number 3 life. You got 6. You got about 6 more left, right? What
But
happened?
kinda had a lot
I
of
came on the
health
show a little late. Did you
crazy
tell everyone
shit
what
happened.
actually
Dave,
happened with you?
just take the IV home with you.
He's
And
got
don't let me.
pneumonia.
Got pneumonia.
I must have some kind of like a mild pneumonia, because obviously I don't have any. I don't sound like I have pneumonia. I don't feel like I have pneumonia, but I'm having weird symptoms of my ribs feel like the look. The thing that scared me is our friend Greg. I know you were very tight with him. Jerry Ward. Was in a show and felt pain in his rib, a gripping pain. I mean, I remember it like it's vivid in my head. And I had the same exact pain Saturday morning, and I said, "Fuck this! I'm not getting pulmonary embolism. I'm not dying of a pulmonary embolism." So I went to the hospital. That they checked me for that. I didn't have a pulmonary embolism, but my left lung, the lower lobe, was definitely showed some kind of fluid buildup. Now, I had surgery 8 weeks ago for my heart, so fluid around the lung and heart area is still pretty common. It's not. It takes a while for your body to clean everything up. They was testing me for everything: chest X-rays, CT scans. I'm glad I have nothing else, but they couldn't figure it out until they finally ran these bacterial cultures, and they had me spit in a cup, and that's how they caught it. They found the Pseudomonas just now. It took like 4 to 8 hours for them to figure it out. So that's why I wasn't getting better, because they weren't treating it properly.
But Jerry had it for a couple of days, though. He had that pain in the ribs a couple of days. He even had it.
Waiting until I died, though, Greg. I
know. I'm just saying that's why when you got something like that, you got to go right to the emergency. I agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I didn't know. When you have fluid in your lung, it feels like when you try to breathe that your rib cage is grabbing you right in the front, in the back with
You need
scapular.
wasp spray.
I should have whipped some wasp spray.
Yeah.
Dave, this is just my suggestion since we're on. I would take the IV, because you already know you have a negative side effect from the other drug, and
I know
it's just not worth it, man. Because God knows you could tear your Achilles or something like that just walking.
Now
Or
you're
my
older,
quads.
you got kids.
You're already
Especially
prone
playing
to
with
it.
your kids. You're moving weird ways, and next thing you know, you tear fucking your bicep and your calf at the same time.
Please just take
I would not
another
take that low
whatever it
ever
takes.
again.
You're better off with the IV anyway.
We're all saying it. We all agree.
Yeah, but you can get Amanda to do it. She
But
knows
you're only
that.
talking one more day. What is it? Two days?
Yeah, but I got to fake. It's 2 more days. I got to fake now. I have to fake that I'm like in agony, so they don't send me home, because the insurance has to cover it. That kind of thing.
Dave, you can take the IV home with you.
I don't want to. I want him to give it to me here.
Your wife can administer it. They leave the same.
I gotta get a pole, and I gotta get a thing.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
You had to screw him for a long time.
He's kind of like on break right now, so let him
kids
rest.
and running 3 businesses. I'm
Exactly.
not giving her any more time.
Just let him rest.
Oh, your poor
Get some
wife,
sleep,
man.
Dave.
Your wife, Amanda's like, what's that?
Hey, thank God that she's a trooper, because
He needs to
God
be
forbid.
canonized after this.
Well, as long as you tell me I'm chest pain.
We're gonna refer to her
you
as
go.
Saint Amanda.
Last story of the day. Have you guys seen this? This story was in the New York Daily Post. Kendall Jenner. They're calling her the Kendall Jenner on steroids. Have you seen this?
No.
All right,
Kendall Jenner. You mean the girl?
You know Kendall Jenner, the Kardashian girl?
Yeah.
Oh, right. What do you mean
Well,
she's
there's a Russian bodybuilder chick that looks just like her. Look at this girl.
Oh, Jesus.
That girl has a pretty face. Yeah.
Got an OnlyFans page too. Her name is Vatislava Galagan, 27 years old, from Russia.
You butchered that, I'm sure.
You got the idea.
You know,
She is.
I think she looks great without the fake breast. I don't think there's any. That's a nice look, you know.
Yeah, she doesn't need them.
She has a crazy physique. I looked at more of her pictures. A beautiful face, but crazy physique.
Thighs, more. Can we see the glutes?
Glutes, it's glutes. I think she's a great women's
from
physique.
behind. I'm sorry.
Is this now bikini, or this is more than bikini?
Yeah, this is bikini, George.
It's bodybuilding.
No, I think hold on. I know it's
hold
on. I know it's bodybuilding, but is it the bikini division of the girl?
No. Far
Kidding me, George? What are you looking at?
She's young, Dave. How old is this girl?
No, because I know the girls are getting more muscular.
She's 5'7", 175 though. Because I
No way.
Oh,
no way.
She's tall like Kendall Jenner.
That's what it says.
175?
Yeah, I looked
The
up her stats.
schmoes are gonna love her, John.
She's
because I'm like, I'm like, I watched her whole page. I looked at her page. I'm like, she looks big. And then the stats said she's 5'7", 175.
I don't
Wow.
see that, dude. That's a middleweight
She's not an
bodybuilder.
OnlyFans
That's
page,
pretty
too.
big, man.
That's a middleweight bodybuilder, dude, to be that lean. I don't see it, but she looks great. I mean, I think this is a good look. It's marketable. It's not too extreme.
She'd do well with the whole direction things are going now.
I think so too. She's
No,
really
I mean, you got to look at what Jake.
That's a great marketable look. Yeah,
That's
I
a very
agree.
Jake Wood would
need to get any bigger.
Jake Wood will eat that up, man. That's
Needs to maintain.
That's a perfect.
She's naturally pretty too. That's the thing. She's just super cute.
Yes.
I hope her voice isn't bad. It looks like she took something like Anna
No,
Barbara.
that's all natural. Come on.
Yeah.
We don't even need her to talk. She doesn't even need to speak.
That's what I say,
No.
Dave.
That's
Same
glandular.
thing. That's
Yeah,
small.
those are glandulars.
She's eating bull's testicles.
She's
That's
eating the
absolutely.
fucking Liver King supplement.
So now this should be the swimsuit model for Sports
You're right.
Illustrated.
You're right.
This-
I'm not even
the
sure if she's
Oh, you
cute,
idiots!
though.
This is what we want. Dummies.
Yeah.
Dude, did you see though that they had a Martha Stewart cover too?
Yeah,
I just said not Martha
Yeah,
Stewart.
bikini.
They said that.
why do I want to see an 81-year-old in a bikini?
Dude, she
They
looked
don't
pretty
know what to
goddamn
do to
good
sell
in
me.
a
There's
bikini.
no one but John Romano. Listen to me. Can you explain to people that no one reads magazines anymore, and so they have to do this sensationalistic crap so that people will buy a magazine?
And because of the fact that nobody reads magazines anymore. And you know what? It's really funny that you said that, because I just got out of an international airport yesterday, and I always look at the newsstand shops. I always stop in to buy a water or beef jerky or whatever, and I always look at the magazine racks. And the biggest place to buy magazines today is not even the bookstore anymore. It's the airport. And there's almost no magazines at the airport anymore. They put the same one down like 9 times to make it look.
It's
the tabloids. That's the only one.
And who wants to carry that shit around? Nobody. Magazines are dead. So now you go
That's
to
why they put Martha Stewart on there, or they put.
So what you have is, now that you are trying to attract eyeballs to your video or your web page or your social media account, whatever, you have this much time. So you have to grab somebody, and they call it clickbait or whatever. You got to entice somebody to go do that. So if it's Martha Stewart in a bikini, or somebody getting hacked up by a gorilla, or anything else.
You're right, Greg. You're right.
I'm not joking.
You're right.
The tranny was fat. She looked better.
Yeah.
Well, she used to be a model for Coco and Chanel, right?
Yeah, she was a fucking. But she was a supermodel one time.
Yeah.
I remember a period of time though, like we certain us that were in magazines, we got paid. There was people paying Iron Man and paying photographers to be in magazines. So you would see an Iron Man and be like, why the fuck is this guy on the front? But they were paying to be in the. They were paying the photographers and the magazine to be in the magazine.
At the very end of the magazine, at the very end of magazines, they were allowing people to buy covers. I think, didn't PJ Braun buy a cover for himself of Iron Man? I'm pretty sure.
I know Iron Man was doing
I can't confirm it, but I did hear it.
PJ, and I know I think he told me he bought it. He paid for the cover.
Well, those guys
did nice shoot.
They did
really
great marketing, Dave. They really did great marketing. I mean, they took from what you going on the show with you, RX Muscle, and launched it up. Oh, was it after that?
I think it was after that, but he wanted to be on a cover of a magazine, and they couldn't get advertising, and PJ said Blackstone will advertise, and he's like, okay, and they bought the cover.
There you go. There's been cover deals like that many times.
Oh fuck yeah, man!
Muscle Tech, I'm sure, did a lot of those deals.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. It's.
Well, how many times did Blackman agonize over who to put on the cover because it was complete? Remember when we had
remember the D Cup girls?
Mark LVC who won the contest that we put on in the magazine and the
Liberatory
who's going to get a cover, and he ended up getting the 2-inch corner at the top.
Liberatory, Michael Liberatory.
Mike Liberatory, right. Mike Liberatory. So the deal was he was going to win. The winner of this contest we put on was going to get the cover of Muscular Development.
That was the prize.
Cover. Now, when you say you're getting the cover, that means the whole cover is you. Okay? Maybe you and a chick, but it's you. Okay. So when it came time to put the winner, Liberatore, on the cover, Blackman already had that locked up with, some deal he had made, and he couldn't do it. So
he reneged.
So he not only did, well, he didn't renege. What he did was he took a very, semantic view of the word cover and what that meant. And he said, well, he's on the cover, so we'll give him the 2-inch, the fold in the corner.
I remember that.
He got the cover, but he got this little 2-inch picture on the cover. I don't remember who the big picture was, but that was on the cover.
They should put George's cookie on the cover of a magazine. It's a fucking thing.
If George pays for it, they'll do it. Believe me.
George, I would buy it. I'd eat the cover. I'd be like, this.
Well,
anyway, I think we ought to put it. We ought to find that how the content of people, the number of people who have been screwed by MD, and how they have been. I bet you we would have so many stories of who got.
I wasn't screwed. MD. No, it was my brother.
Out of their money, screwed out of this, their promises and
Oh,
everything.
your brother almost got screwed. Remember, wasn't he supposed to do the T-shirts for Blackman? And then Blackman traded him with someone else the T-shirts.
No,
I believe me. Your brother got screwed. He did.
I love Bob. Funny.
I never forget him getting the tea bag massage with tea bags, hot tea bags.
Oh yeah.
Hey, look.
People. Yeah.
Oh my God.
George's brother was like charging things up on the room bill, like massages, like all kinds of facials. I'm like, what are you doing, Rob? You can't do this. And then I get scrutinized if I had a French fry on.
We were in the gym working out, and he was in the room getting a massage, and I went in the door. I opened the door, and there he is with some guy with wet tea bags, hot tea bags. I couldn't close the door.
And he
better was we would walk down the hallway to go back to our room, and Rob would be coming the other way, completely naked, walking the hallway.
Oh,
no, he walked out in the hallway naked all the time.
In the room.
We had the rooms next to each other, and we
go to the ice machine naked.
He went to the ice machine stark naked. It was.
I don't know what.
No wasp spray.
I was with him.
No wasp spray. No.
Oh, dude, I was with Bobby when he walked up to fucking Ben Weeder or Joe Weeder, and was starting to tell him about the father.
Barefoot with the green toe.
But I took the picture of his foot and I put it in the magazine because he was barefoot. I'm talking to Brian Siders. I'm doing an interview with Brian Siders, and I look down. Bobby's sitting next to me. He's patting me on the back, and I look and I see these feet and shit like that. He's walking around the whole venue with no shoes on. He's fucking funny, man.
Greg, where's that picture?
I got it. I still got it. You want me to send it to you?
Send it to me. I'll put it up next week.
All right. So. It's fucking great. I got it.
Right, well,
he does that now. He has no teeth.
Dave,
he has no teeth.
I thought he got teeth. He
has no teeth. He has sweats that have holes in them, T-shirt all disheveled, and he sells guys looking like that. Hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of product. That just goes to tell you how good of a salesman he is.
George, who chased who with the golf club? Was that him chasing you or you chasing him?
I chased him.
Okay, you chased
him. I chased him.
It was not a golf club. It was like an axe or something.
I chased him with two things. A golf club and I had a brass bed and I was moving. And I took the headboard and the brass bed.
Yeah.
Right? And I was at my dad's house. I took it out of the truck and I was trying to smash it. I mean, that's how brothers do. Then we we're best friends.
Up and you hang out, right? Yeah.
Now I mean, it was a love hate, yo.
Your brother was a fucking panic, bro. Even when we go do that Arnold class, he'd walk up to any hot chick or he was crazy. I love Bobby.
He's just being himself. That's the whole point.
I know. I love it.
I was just with him here like 3 months ago. So he takes us out to dinner, and I ordered the big giant tomahawk steak.
He loves when you do that. He likes that.
Oh yeah, I did a I told
His
all the
brother's
guys.
just
I go,
like
"Listen,
Blackman, John. His
Yeah.
brother loves to take people out to expensive
my
dinners.
brother does, yeah.
Dude,
He'll spend like
Business write-off. That's what
he'll
it
spend
is.
like
wants
5, 6
that
grand on or 10 grand on a dinner.
George,
Miss
he once
G,
texted
no
me
more
25 times in 2
ISO
minutes.
Hey, that's right.
George, he once texted me 25 times in 2 minutes. I swear to God, that's not a lie. I couldn't believe it. Your brother texted me 25 times in 2 minutes.
No, but it's true. Blackman and his brother, they'll take you out to a $10,000 dinner. But if you ask them for like
A nickel?
to get like $20 off of a deal, they won't do it. They love the dinners though. But Blackman won't pay you. He'll say the check's on my desk, but he'll take you out for the greatest dinner of your life.
Oh, dude, he's taking me out
$100
100
bottles of
times.
What's
wine.
the best steak?
You'll write it
You
off.
can buy whatever you want. He's not cheap in a restaurant.
He's
He
not.
is the greatest. Yeah,
He's
it's
not.
like
He was
going
very
out
good
with
with
like
me.
it's like Santa Claus taking you out to dinner. You know?
Yeah, I
I
was
was-
actually out with him once at the Arnold Classic one time. He took
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great at dinner. Arnold dinner with Blackman is amazing, but you know, if you have to deal with him, you know, any other
Oh,
time.
but why he always
What did
buys
he give you all
Yeah,
allowance
yeah,
though?
yeah.
What was your allowance for the day for food?
I don't know, $100 or something like that. I don't remember.
Something like that.
You know what it is? We never had time to eat. We
Yeah,
were
you know what's
working
funny?
so
He'd
hard.
give you an allowance, but
He would
he
just
would
get
buy
room
you the
service.
dinner anyway. He would go.
Yeah, he paid for everything anyway. You never had to use the allowance.
I didn't go to the dinners a lot of times because I was.
He
just
just
were
didn't
always
pay people.
working.
That was the only problem. He never paid people.
He was great. I'm sorry. He was great for me. I mean, he
Yeah,
fucking
except
would
you
buy me a
took him to
steak.
court and beat him in court.
Yeah, you took him
anyway.
He
You had
took
to
me
go
to
to
the
court.
You went to court.
He's great
He
at, but
took
you
me
still
to court.
sued him.
Holy shit!
Buddy gave us a launching
You
pad.
beat him.
Hey, but hold
You
on.
beat him in court.
I beat
You
him. but
can't
He gave a
hold
pad.
on.
Greg,
Everything is squashed. Me and him are good. He
Yeah,
fucking would
because
buy me a
you're
steak,
good because you beat him in
And then-
court.
and then he'd buy me a second steak. He didn't give a
How-
shit. He'd buy my
how good-
girlfriend steak.
Greg, how good would you be if he won?
Listen, I still would be good with him. He's okay. He's good. I like Steve. I still text
Because
him.
you won.
Huh?
You still
Because you won.
because he's a nice guy.
No, he is. I love him. He's a great guy. I
Because
like.
you won.
I get along with Jen.
All
I
right,
get along
make
with
believe
Brian.
you
I get
won.
along-
So, the show's going too long now. I want to wrap it up.
Dave,
So
can I
I'm
say
going to go
something
around
real
the
quick?
horn.
Can I say
Kendall,
something?
hold on. I want to ask you a question. I'm going around the horn. Start with Armand. Do you prefer the jacked Kendall Jenner, the one on Juice, or do you like the one who's the real Kendall Jenner? Which one would you date?
I like that. I like that girl. That was she Russian or what is she?
Yeah, Russian.
Yeah,
Jack
'cause I was
Ken-
looking at her. I was looking at her the other day. I don't find that with many women, but like just her muscle and her just super cute face.
What about you, Larry?
The girl that you showed, I thought she looked really good.
Yeah.
You like the muscle? Okay, the muscular
Yeah.
Kendall Jenner.
Mhm.
And I'm not a
John?
muscular. I don't like muscle women either. So you know.
I always vote for the girls with muscle.
Yeah. Greg?
I don't like the Jack part of it, but I think she was cute. I like her better. I don't like anything to do with the Jenners or whatever the fuck.
Kendall has a little boy's ass though. You like that? You said
Who's that?
the real
Who
Kendall
does?
Jenner
The real
has a
Kendall
boy,
Jenner.
little boy's ass.
The real Kendall Jenner?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I can't stand them people, so I can't. I'd have to go with the Jack. Even though the Jack one, I don't like all that shit. When from behind you see all the muscle and shit.
Well, you're not
Then
picking
you'd have
her.
to pick. Then you have to pick the real Kendall Jenner. That's all.
You're not picking the girl. You're picking the physique.
Could I?
You're
could
picking
I
the
take
physique,
Jenner?
yeah.
You don't have to pick either one. You just
You
have
don't
to
have
say
to
which
talk to
look
these
do you
people.
prefer.
Yeah.
Could I take Caitlyn Jenner? I'm just joking.
You could.
No,
With the
I
sun-
like- I
As
think
long
it's
as you,
Jack
as long as you pay,
He
send
probably
St.
means
Jude's $500 for bringing it up. Yeah,
Greg probably
you're
would,
allowed to do
too.
that.
I take the Jack Kendall. I just don't like them Jenner people. The
mean-
Kardashian sicken me.
Greg,
It's
what
not
he's asking
personality.
you-
We're talking
What
about.
he's asking you is, which look do you prefer? Do you prefer?
I guess the real Kendall Jenner. Then, if you're gonna go by the
He likes
look,
the small little boy's ass.
I like
Yeah.
the feminine girls. I don't like that Jack shit.
But you
Okay.
said you like the girls with no ass. You like the little boy's ass.
Well, I like tight girls, like the bikini girls.
He likes
Small-
some old Hawaiian tropic
No.
girl.
That's not what you told me.
No,
You
he
told me
doesn't.
you
No, I
like-
do like small. Jamie Eason. Look up Jamie Eason's ass.
We know Jamie
As a
Eason.
matter of fact, I talked about her ass in muscular development, and Steve Blackman did get mad at me because she complained about it. But yet, meanwhile, all she did was show her ass, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but she like found God or something after that. And
Yeah,
got
right.
out.
After her ass is all over the internet.
Right.
Got most of it taken off, but
After she hooked up with everybody.
little ass and skinny, like
I mean, what do you like?
She was. I would pick her, but she's just a teeny bit too big for me. I kind of would have liked to have done it myself. I would.
She's tall. You'd be very short compared.
I don't have no problem with that.
Thank you, Amin. I agree with you.
I would honestly, I would have liked to have seen her and done it myself, and maybe not had her as big. But I would choose her overall.
I think she looks bigger in the pictures. I don't think she looks as big in person. If that's her stats, I looked several places. That was her stats.
But
5'7",
she weighs the same as I do. That's not
Yeah, but she's a lot taller than you, though.
Not a lot. A half inch.
And that's probably off season.
That's in shape right now. I like Kendall. I like Kendall Jenner or the girl, the whole old Hawaiian Tropic or the Rachel McLeish's.
That's what I like.
No, Greg,
70 different divisions.
He likes the girls from the 70s, the porn girls.
He likes them without steroids. He likes them without steroids.
No, that's what he likes. He likes that look.
Dude, when I say a small ass, I mean exactly what George likes. I don't like a big ass and big giant tits. I like that.
No, the girls in the 70s. All the girls, all the girls we grew up were all in shape.
The devil's triangle's down there, bro.
He likes Farrah Fawcett and those girls.
Yes.
Bush.
Mr. G, you like big tits over butt, right? You like tits
I don't like any. I like natural girls.
Thank you.
I don't like.
Well, there's natural girls with big tits too.
Farrah Fawcett. Farrah Fawcett is what my girlfriend looks like. That's who I like.
Thank you. I like the same shit. Small ass, skinny, thin. I don't
like a big butt to be here. Some of these butts are just like.
They're ridiculous. They really are.
How can you even put your thing?
I don't like the fake butts. I don't like the fake butts.
No way.
It's gone too far.
That girl,
she's really like on the line right now. She's on the line, like.
I think I think that's a good look for her. If she didn't get any bigger, that would be
if she stays like that, but in her off season, she doesn't look like that.
I think that is off season, don't you? No,
I think that's the way. Yeah, I think that's how she is. Yeah.
The problem,
some girls can stay in shape like that.
In order for her to maintain that, she's going to have to obviously go off, and then when she goes back on, she can maintain it. But every time she does that, it's going to affect her voice more and more.
You go back on steroid. You go
As
back
she
on.
Older, her voice is going to get.
These girls' faces, their faces get screwed up when they get older.
Faces too, and her face, you could tell it's a little bit. The way her jawline is and her cheekbones. She's always
Russian. She's Russian.
Russian too, which enhances.
No, there's girls like that that's never taken anything. I know.
Yeah, they're all swimming chicks.
But
swimmers
not
like
from the
gymnastic girls.
steroids. Not from being that lean is what I'm saying. From being that lean, you could see a more toned type. I like that though. I think she looks great. Her face is beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Eyes, beautiful, everything.
Let's get her on the show.
All right.
Dave,
she speaks English. We get her on.
Dave, you posted a chick
you might
on
need
your
a translator.
Dave, you posted a girl either on your Instagram or your Facebook. No names. I don't want to mention any names because I don't want to piss her off. She probably watches the show. But dude, that chick was ridiculous. Her legs were like big rammies, split, fucking abs. You might as well it's like a dude.
The shredded
shot. That has to be Photoshop.
Don't say the name just in case.
The one that was shredded,
ridiculous.
right? The shredded one.
Yeah, the one with the legs. Bro, that was like,
no, she just competed in the New York Pro. She got second to
dude, that shit's scary.
Natalia, yeah.
She had striations on striations.
Yeah,
that
was legit.
Doctor, unbelievable.
How about that Russian girl with the big giant lips, Russian Pro girl? You know what I'm talking about?
She's too much.
Who is that girl?
That's too much.
No lip fillers.
Like a waist like this and like crazy.
There's no way her waist is that big. It's photoshopped.
Yeah,
it is. You know what girl I'm talking about.
Yeah, her quads are this big and her waist is this big. Well,
my IV's running out, so it must mean that it's time to wrap up the show. Guys, thanks for joining us live as always. I love you all. Go
away from wasp spray.
Waspman's hornet killer.
All right, guys. I love you guys.
Feel better, Dave.
Bye.
Feel better, Dave.
Feel better,
Dave.
Get out of there.
It's still going on. Show hasn't ended yet.
He froze up.
Yeah, he's froze. He froze. It'll end in a minute. He'll edit this out anyway.
All right, peace out, guys. I'll see you next week.
We're off the show now.
Right on. Bye, Mr. G.
All right, buddy. I'll see you.
See you guys.
I heard you're mine. Davey.
Hey, Mr. G, did you get my
Larry.
cookies?
No, I just got back. I just got back from traveling to New York, so
Okay.
I got
Whenever-
back today.
Whenever
So
you
I
get a
gotta-
chance.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
All right.
I'm gonna the next couple of days. I'll send it out to you.
All right. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, no problem. No problem, man. No
All
problem.
right. Have a
Great
good
show,
day.
man. You too, buddy.
Are we still going here? I don't think anyone ever stopped the show. My IV went off and my internet crapped out. Well, guys, I love you. Thanks for all the support, all the encouraging texts and emails from everyone out there who sent them. Hopefully I'll be home by next week, and we'll be back next Tuesday for another installment of After Hours.